Hello there, welcome to your Goddess Wisdom for today. I've decided that since it's the day before the Easter weekend, that I would bring a very special goddess to you today, and her name is Eostre. Eostre is the spring maiden, and she represents growth. Great deal of the imagery that surrounds her is what we associate with Easter. She has Easter lilies in her hair. She's holding a little egg in her hand. She's got a bunny in her lap. The unicorn that sits there represents a great deal of youth and imagination. And all around her, pretty flowers are sprouting up. Now, the spring is a very tumultuous time of year simply because the temperature is fluctuating and the weather is quite wild, especially in March. Well, here we are now in April, and we're really starting to see the earth waking up. And this is what happens after the spring equinox, which happened in March. And that's essentially what Eostre represents. With the Christians and the Easter weekend, the Christians decided to adopt a great deal of the pagan imagery and symbolism in order to, of course, make it easier to convert pagans over to Christianity. Either way, the imagery still represents the same thing. This is a time of growth. This is where, in general, the earth is warming up. It starts to thaw, which means now water can flow. When you look at your trees and they start to bud, it means that they are finally starting to get some of the nutrients from the earth that they need. That the earth has thawed enough so that they're drawing up the water. And the same goes for all of the plants. Once things start to loosen up and the water can flow, they can draw it up from the earth. Now, the temperature is not actually the big factor when it comes to things greening up and growing in the spring. The reason why it's celebrated at the equinox is because that's when we really start to notice the days getting longer. Yes, the change happens at Yule, but it's now in the spring when we really get to notice that we've got a heck of a lot more daylight hours. Now, I'm going to get a little scientific for just a moment. The plant life greens up and sprouts and grows in the spring, not because of the temperature change. It's more because of the amount of light they're getting, which is called the photoperiod. Because the plants make their food from the sunlight, so they depend on that a great deal. Now, something that you might notice, especially if you're someone who suffers from seasonal affective disorder, is that we also very much respond to the lightening and the brightening days. We start to feel a little more awake. Suddenly we've got just that little bit more energy. Now, even though we're not plants and we don't make our own food, one thing that we do have In our eyes, we have photoreceptors. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of us are daytime people. And I mean, as a species, we're designed to function during the day. And that's why we've got these photoreceptors in our eyes, because they respond to daylight. Myself, because I am very sensitive and I do respond to daylight, in the summertime when the daylight is very, very long, I need to have blackout curtains. And when I was living out west in Alberta, where the daylight is really, really long in the summer, I actually even had an eye mask so I could block out the light, because I'd be awake all hours of the night and never get any friggin' sleep because the photoreceptors in the eyes are going, wee, daylight. Yeah. So that can be a little difficult to deal with. But like I said, if you suffer from seasonal affective disorder, we're celebrating the lengthening days. We're celebrating the daylight and feeling the energy. And I mean, I've noticed myself in just the last little while, it's been extremely wonderful just to have that little bit of extra daylight. I know that on the dull, dreary days, I'm going to want to take a nap. So I'm appreciating the growth that is happening now. The growth in the daylight, the growth in the energy, the feeling of the earth waking up. Because if you're sensitive like me, you're going to feel it when you step outside and you're walking on the ground. You can feel it's getting a little bit mushier because it is warming up. And I mean, even on the chilly days, it's still not getting cold enough to freeze it up again. So what Eostre tells us is to take advantage of the shifting energy that's happening through the thawing of the earth and the lengthening of the daylight hours and the renewed energy and what Father Sky and Mother Earth are giving to us. And just embrace that energy and let it stimulate your mind, body, and spirit. And you might find that change, especially if you're looking to make changes, is happening a little bit easier, and you see things grow quite rapidly. So get out there and enjoy some of that wonderful daylight and look to where you feel you have space to grow. You have a great day and enjoy your Easter weekend. Bye-bye. If you like what you see, click like. If you know somebody who would like this, then click share. If you want to see more, click subscribe. And if you've got some comments or ideas, please make your comments. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.